Good morning. Today, I'm going to tell you how we can bring families back together in America. All right? I'm going to tell you a step by step process on how we can strengthen the families in America. We can get rid of the single mom epidemic. We can get rid of these rampant crimes in places like Chicago. If we just bring families together, right, and we raise these kids in two-parent households, the country will be a way cleaner, safer, and respectful place. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because whether we want to admit it or not, that dynamic where it's just broken homes after broken homes, most children are not even raised with the mother or the father that had them. Guys, that is what is causing the downfall of America. From the inside, it's happening. Nobody on the outside can destroy America. The destruction is coming from within. If you look in the prisons, most prisoners come from single mom homes. It's nothing against single moms per se, but these prisoners are coming from these broken homes and they don't have the guidance that they should have had growing up. So this is how we're going to bring it back. First things first, we have to incentivize people staying together. At this point in time, people are incentivized to leave by social media, by these dating apps, by the system of how, well, we're going through a disagreement. Okay, I can just leave and we're going to split assets in half. And the person who doesn't make as much is going to actually gain from the destruction of the marriage. We need to make it to where it is incentivized that married people stay together. When they introduce no fault divorce, meaning you can divorce somebody, it doesn't have to be a reason. That's a tricky thing because now you see the effects of that. And the effects is people are not even having, the courage to stick it out through their marriage. It's just people are just giving up on their family. And when you give up on your family, that affects your children. That affects everybody. So let's talk about it. Should people have the ability to leave if they're getting abused? Anything like that? Yes. Should people have the ability to say I made a mistake marrying you and leave? Yes. But guys, I I'm telling you, it says for better or for worse, people are supposed to stay together. You should have to live up to that within reason. Now, how could the government implement these changes? Just like anything else. I say financial compensation. They bail out any other industry. How about we start bailing out people who are married? How about we start every year? Oh, made it another year of marriage. Bonus if you got kids. How about we start giving these families bonuses? How about it? Successful marriage bonus. They throw money at everything else. Successful marriage bonus. They should start giving out bonuses. People who are married and are together should get rewarded for that. I think they should. I think they're really beneficial to society. I think every year we can negotiate the amount, But we knowing how difficult marriage is and knowing how hard it is to coexist with another person and put your needs second to the needs of the family, I think there should be yearly compensation for each person individually, not even just to the family. Each person individually should get a check. That's the only way I could see, because it's without that, people are seeing that the difficulties of marriage is not worth it with the financial hardship of the economy being so bad. Marriage should be a way that you can escape financial ruin. You If you want to save marriage, that is the number one way. And I think, well, people might hear this and go, well, where's that money gonna come from? Or, you think you think money is made out of air? And guys, if you see how much money they put into useless things, if you see how much money they put into just complete dumb things, you understand my point that putting money into family, which that is what America has been built on up until the modern times. The only thing I could see outside of financial compensation yearly for people staying together would be if we had a religious revolution where we turn back the clock and people were getting married for religious purposes. And it's hard to see that happening because people think they know better. People are in America are highly educated, and they think that, the idea of God and the idea of family is somewhat barbaric. A lot of people think that. Now, I know a lot of people are religious, but what I'm saying is, compared to other times in history, America is the most non-religious place in throughout history. When it comes to a place that is a superpower, when you look at Rome, religious. When you look at the time that England was controlling many parts of the world, religious. America is, on paper, a Christian nation, but if you live here, you will see that it is very loose. It's very loose. Christianity is not within this country as it would seem and as it should be. But I highly doubt, without something unforeseen happening, I highly doubt that's coming back. You can't put that back in the tube, guys. That once people got rid of shame, got rid of standards, with the hookup culture, with just the progressive movement, it's moving away from people doing things because they want to go to heaven or because it's the right thing to do. People are not going to get married because it's the right thing to do. People are going to need to have an incentive. So I just think us as a country, the richest country in the world, I just think we should start investing back into our families. And I understand that idea, it's just throwing money at a problem, but I think if anything I would like to throw money at, it would be to throw money at bringing families back together. Now, on the net con side, when they're throwing money at families to incentivize them to stay together, I recommend that you put blood in, blood out style. For divorce, I incentivize that both parties separately have to pay a large sum to divorce. And that will even this thing out. It should be a high risk, high reward situation to be married. If you want to leave, you should have to pay a huge penalty. You've been taking in all these bonuses, you should have to pay a huge penalty from getting divorced. Now, you might say, well, Coach Prenti, what what if somebody was abused and then they just say, okay, I am going to get divorced. I'm going to file for divorce. And then I have to pay a big tax to be divorced. Well, that is what the court system is for. If you can prove that you were abused, then of course we should be able to have an out. But it has to be that way, guys. It has to be a penalty and it has to be an incentive to bring marriage back. I mean, I'm being honest. I think in the next 30 years, marriage is going to be something we're going to look back on and we're going to say, okay, that's something that people used to do when it comes to the West. So that's just that, guys. People, I mean, you got to think about the mentality, guys. When you go and look at, when you start seeing the mega rich men avoiding marriage, when you start to see very eligible bachelors staying bachelors into their 50s, 60s, 70s, they're not doing it because they're selfish, guys. They're doing it because it's something wrong with the system. So, and I know a lot of y'all will bring up prenups, and this will be my last point. But the system is so bad, guys. You could create a prenup, and there are ways to literally get around the prenup. So there is no safe way to get married. So if there's no safe way to get married, then let's start compensating these brave individuals who very heroically, I will say, go into this contract to where if things go bad, you're going to take a big loss. I think we should start compensating these families. All right, individually. I do not want, last thing, you to be sending this money to the family as a whole and having them arguing over it. I don't think that's helpful. Now, you know, if you send the money to a family and the woman's already dominating the joint bank account, if a woman is already, dominating the relationship, she's just going to take all that money. We need to send it to individual people. Hey, you married? All right. This is your bonus for the year. And maybe that will change the dynamic. But regardless, guys, that is the biggest problem with America today, is that children are not being raised with the people who birthed them. There is no camaraderie. So they're going out into the world and they're trying to find a connection by any means, whether it's having hookup culture, whether it's joining gangs. There is no tribe at home. It's just a thought. You have a good day.